Hello and welcome, and just a very quick video to say hello and watch the following. There are several, but you can get the idea. This is obviously Keir Starmer giving the announcement that the digital ID will be compulsory, will be mandatory, blah blah blah, and it will be if you want to work, etc. But bear in mind that it won't be just about working, it'll be about everything, and it will come in. Once they've got it in the door, then they will expand it out and it will be everything in your life. So basically, benefits, healthcare, it will be going shopping, it will be driving your car, it will be literally travelling, it will be literally everything. And of course, later on, as they bring it in, they will include things like that you can't do, such as buying too much meat and buying too much petrol and going abroad too many times. I know that they keep on about this, but it's all coming in and we're on the end game now. We're on the end game. We just have to keep that momentum going.
The system does need to be fair if we want to maintain that binding contract that our politics is built on. Otherwise, it undermines trust, undermines people's faith that we're on their side, and their belief that the state can and will work for them. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them.
Breaking news now. Digital ID will be made law for all adults in an effort to tackle small boats. Downing Street believes that a mandatory ID card system will help stop illegal immigrants working.
Digital ID cards would be on people's smartphones, much like a mobile contactless payment or a boarding pass when you book a flight. You will have to have one by the end of the decade. The government wants this scheme up and running before the next election. You won't have to carry it with you at all times. You won't be asked to produce it, but you will need it to prove your right to work in the UK. And speaking to people in government who have been at the heart of designing this scheme, they're very clear that yes, they think it will reduce the attractiveness of the UK for people crossing the channel in small boats, trying to make it harder to work here illegally. But actually what they're most excited about, they say, is digital ID's ability to make things easier for people when it comes to engaging with the state. And one advisor I was speaking to last night said it could help with anything from stopping you having to take 2 utility bills when you go to the council rubbish tip.
There is a petition, not that it will do any good, because there is a petition to get a general election. It had 3 million votes on it and nothing's happened on that, so I can't see that the petition to stop digital ID is going to do anything either. However, there are a lot more people aware of this now. There are a lot more organisations, and also it's appearing on the mainstream media, which is like, whoa, hang on.
Wild, isn't it? The idea that you'd have a digital ID. You just essentially it'd be like having someone following you, walking down the street all the time.
I think my problem is with it being mandatory. Do you see what I mean? Where it's like you have to have this thing. You cannot engage with.
But it would become mandatory de facto, wouldn't it? Anyway,
why would you have it if it wasn't mandatory?
No, because but certain companies will start saying, well, you need to put this in, otherwise you can't use the services. And then, I mean, on paper that is a choice, but it's not a choice, is it? Yeah. Because I am going to have to use Gmail. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, or it'll be like, yeah, okay, you don't have the ID, so call this number, and 5 hours, 5 hour long wait time, blah de blah de blah.
We've now got the government pushing the Brit card, and they're now saying they're going to make it mandatory. So, i.e., if you don't take the digital ID, you won't be able to access any government services or pensions or healthcare. So basically making you an unperson. Doesn't this sound like the way that the unvaccinated were treated during the pandemic, where you're isolated from society if you don't play along? And I just keep telling people that if you say yes to digital ID, the problem is you'll never be able to say no to the government ever again.
What's going on there? Because now, if the normies see this, and they're going to be going, oh my God, we don't want this. And of course it will wake people up. Hopefully, I know there are still a lot of people out there who are still sleeping. Yes, I've had a few on my social media pages that I go on. There's loads on there talking about various subjects, and of course you put any sort of comment on there telling them the truth and they don't want to know. They just call you names. They call you a flat earther. I mean, what flat earth has to do with it, I don't know, but that's what they call you.
All UK citizens will have to have it, but won't have to carry it with them. It's not like an ID card, a physical ID card, where you'll be required to, as you move around the country, have it with you and show it. It will be compulsory if you want to work in this country. So you'll have to show that to be able to prove that you have the right to work. We think that will make a significant dent in the number of people who come to this country and are able to work illegally. What employers tell us quite often is that it's very difficult to verify people's identity. It's very difficult to verify whether they've got the right to work. Those documents can be easily falsified. And over the last year, we've been looking at countries like Estonia, where they've really been pioneers in terms of digital ID, about how you can make sure that people have encrypted ID so that they can use it to prove their right to work, but they can also use it, if they choose to, for signing up to different services. We've seen the NHS app rolled out across the UK over recent years that's had quite a big impact on people. You can access your own medical records, you can book appointments online. People won't have to use it for those purposes if they don't want to, but it will help us to make sure that we undermine the illegal economy and that only people who have the right to work here in the UK do so.
This issue to do with the technology and the digital infrastructure, I just want to emphasise how important I think that is. Because in the end, you need the data. You need to know who's been vaccinated and who hasn't been. Some of the vaccines that will come on down the line will be multiple. There'll be multiple shots. So you've got to have, for reasons to do with the healthcare more generally, but certainly for a pandemic or for vaccines, you've got to have a proper digital infrastructure, and many countries don't have that. In fact, most countries don't have it.
And of course, it's all bullshit. It's all lies. And of course, we have this thing now. So here we go. Right. Hello, and just to do a quick add-on. Obviously, it's now the next day, and the stories that keep on coming. The videos keep on coming, and this is now got to the point where that petition I mentioned is now 1.5 million to scrap the plans. It was only about 300,000, but they've had, since then, they've had 6,800 hours. They've had 6,800 signed in an hour on Saturday morning. So basically it is a thing, and I will try and link it down below so you can go and sign it, but this is actually becoming very much a case of, I don't think that this is going to go through because of the opposition. I think that everybody has now woken up and realised what's going on, and if that is true, then that's good news. And of course, two-tier Kia is under pressure.
The British government is pushing forward with plans for a national digital ID system. They've called it the Brit card. And if that name doesn't send a chill down your spine, you have not been paying attention. It isn't just about proving who you are online. That all sounds rather lovely. This is about building a centralised, state-controlled digital identity system that could be used, will be used, to link your finances, your medical history, your travel movements, your social media activity, even your social activity in real life, and more. It's quite frankly a digital dog tag, and once it's clipped around your neck, you will not be able to take it off. So let's start with the basics. What is this Brit card? According to leaked briefings and government statements, and frankly any of us who've been paying attention knew this was coming, the Brit card is going to act as a unified digital identification that every British citizen can use to access public services to prove their identity and eventually, though they won't say this part out loud, link with your banking, your health and your travel movements. Let's also not forget that we are already seeing the slow creep of programmable money. The Bank of England is working on a digital pound and has been for a few years. And there are active conversations now about linking spending capabilities to your digital identity. That means if your ID is flagged, limited or suspended, I don't know, because maybe you said some hurty words on social media, that will mean you can't access your own money. Just let that sink in. The government already has a proven track record of making life extremely difficult for people who don't toe their very narrow line. From freezing protesters' bank accounts to threatening censorship online, the precedent is clear. Give power-hungry bureaucrats without sufficient conscience or imagination a system like Britcard, and you're handing these idiots the keys to your digital life. And just wait until it's tied to your carbon tracking or your health data. You didn't recycle this week? Points will be deducted. Bought too much red meat or petrol? Access denied. Did you say something misleading? Perhaps some misinformation, the kind of stuff that you and I would know to be true on social media? Your account will be flagged. If you think that is far-fetched, then you haven't been reading the same websites as me. You just have to go and have a cursory glance to the World Economic Forum website, and it's all there in black and white as an ambition. It's such an important conversation. It's literally the most important conversation that we should be having at this time. Because once the Brit card becomes part of daily life, resistance will be painted as extremist. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? So speak up now while we still can. And finally, this is about power. The Brit card isn't about technology. It's not about convenience. It's not even about illegal immigration, regardless of what they tell you. It is about power. Who has it? Who controls it? And who loses it? If we let our MPs, cheered on by tech companies, push this through without a fight, it won't be long before asking the wrong question, spending money on the wrong things, or holding the wrong opinion will put you on the wrong side of the system. And there will be millions of people who will be happy to cheer this through. It's not even about left or right. It makes that old-fashioned political paradigm utterly irrelevant. It is about being free or being trapped. And if we don't draw the line here at Britcard, it may be the last line that we ever freely get to draw. I won't be living with you in a digital cage. I will do everything to remain outside of that system.